Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this live stream where we have the one and only Surya Ganguly with us. Hello, Surya, how are you?
Hi Sagar, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm amazing. Surya, since I've scheduled the stream, people have been saying, what is Surya going to teach us in response to 1d4? They are very excited. And someone said, no QGD, no Slav. They were like, please don't teach us solid lines and so on. So,
Yeah,
how are you doing? And I guess it was a very busy period for you because you are working on your Chessable course, which just got released.
yeah. It was incredibly busy. There was Chessable, Process Training, Aria, of course. Then I played also White.
Yes.
Uh, I hope you did not see my games. It was very instructive. Every day we used to dine together, myself, Arjun, and Srinath. And my games were very instructive because Arjun knew exactly how not to play.
So basically, you kept Arjun saying that, look, how not to play, I'll take care. You do how to play.
Exactly, exactly. This is how you should not play, and this is how you should play.
Amazing. And by the way, people are loving your Jerry t-shirt, Jerry OP in the chat. This is one of
Yeah.
your favorite ones, yes?
Actually, I had earlier I had with black and white, but that was from a different company, and they stopped making it. Basically, I could not find, and then suddenly I found this one again, another different company, but it's a similar thing. I really like it.
Okay, wonderful. Uh, Amay Kanetkar says, teach us a weapon against London. Today we are going to look at a lot of different things. But first of all, I think this course which is released is mainly about Semi Tarrasch, yes?
Yes. No,
So,
the thing is, this one covers Semi Tarrasch, Catalan. The so-called boring openings, like how to deal with them. And the first part was Nimzo and other lines. So it's a complete repertoire against d4. So basically, what we are saying is once white plays d4, in these two courses, everything is covered. Everything, literally everything. Like
wow.
that includes, let's say, d4, knight f6, g4, for example.
Like
So
Mohammad
like,
Yarov.
yeah, absolutely everything is covered with these two courses.
Amazing. Okay, so guys, we'll talk more about what is covered, but also you guys have to give the right answers because Surya is going to ask a lot of questions, and this is the first time in a long time that I do not have any control on the chessboard because Surya was like, "I'm going to share my screen," so this chessboard is entirely controlled by him. And Surya, so let's get it rolling. And
Let's get it rolling. So also I said in the course that the concept of Semi Tarrasch has been, it's a boring opening and you don't get any dynamism. And often people felt, no, I don't want to play this line because it's extremely boring and passive. So my promise is I'm going to break that
really,
traditional conception
my my,
completely.
my I feel that Semi Tarrasch is very good for a draw.
So you will change your opinion after you go through this.
Okay.
And also there are some free version of the course, which is like compact. So I would encourage all the viewers, to check that. And I am confident your perception of Semi Tarrasch will change completely.
Guys, the first link in the description is the short and sweet course of Surya, and it is free completely. So you can go there and download it, and maybe you can first get your check this one, and then you can get that one. And if you like it, then you can go further. There are more links in the description.
Absolutely. So let's get started, Semi
Okay.
Tarrasch.
Yes, let's
Okay.
let's go.
So
I'm very excited.
same here.
Mhm.
Hang on. Yeah.
So
So the
d4, knight
second,
f6, c4, e6.
yeah, the second part takes care everything after this move, which means I'm claiming once your opponent plays knight f3 in the second part of this course, I'm playing d5, and no matter what he plays, there are million moves here. But whatever it is, everything is covered under the course. So you don't have to bother about this one. In the first part, everything before this particular position has been covered.
So you mean to say before nf3 and d5, if white goes knight c3 here, that is in the first part.
Yes, as well as, all sorts of moves, whether it is London, Trompowsky, or some sort of Veresov. And as
Okay.
I said, even moves like G4, practically any move that you can imagine is covered.
Okay. Abhiraj Ratna says, Sagar, please ask Surya, does he cover Dutch? No, I don't think Dutch would be covered,
No.
right? Because knight f6 is the first move, not f5.
Correct. So it's from black's perspective.
Right.
And also the good part about this entire repertoire is everything is directed towards center, and in most cases, our moves are knight f6, d5, c5. This you will see also in when we discuss London system or Colle system. So I believe when we have similar kind of moves, it's easy to prepare, it's easy to learn. Let's get to the starting position of Semi Tarrasch.
So CD you take with knight d5. If you play ED, then it's normal Tarrasch.
Correct.
But knight d5 leads to Semi Tarrasch. Okay.
Correct. And knight d5, there are moves like e3 also, but obviously the main move is e4. After e4, we get a forced position. We take. There are no deviations here. So if you play Semi Tarrasch, like 80% of time or maybe 90% of time, you are likely to end up in the following position, that is this particular position.
Okay.
Which apparently is boring, which apparently black plays for draw. But if you give me some minutes and then let's see if I can change everybody's opinion, including Sagar's.
I saw how many games recently. One game of Vidit versus Duda, Pragnananda versus Duda, and so all these games I felt like there was a lot of theory and they ended in equality at the end. So in that sense, I was like, okay, it seems like very theoretical stuff.
Right. The thing is, if we check online database right now, you will see there are moves like bishop e2, bishop d3, bishop c4, bishop b5, rook b1, rook c1, rook d1, h4. Of course, everything is covered in the course, but there is no need to get intimidated at all. The reason is the way I approached this course was first to understand the position. What is our upside and what is our downside? So the first upside, and this is going to be very instructive. One thing is obvious: white has a strong center. So I started the. Yeah, go on, sorry.
So I also want to ask the people that you can write in the chat. What do you think is the upside for black in this position? Yeah,
that would be very interesting. That would be really interesting. I'm very curious to know what the chat thinks. Okay. What is the upside for black here?
Because white is clear. He has space. He has the central pawns. But what does black have here? Deep Narayanan Banerjee says castled. Akshay Mohan says black has majority on queen side.
Oh, beautiful. Both of this basically nailed it. So one advantage is, of course, we have castle, which means white is still 2 moves away from castling. And second, we have majority. One tiny bit question. If we have a majority on queen side, what is better for us, middle game or end game?
Guys, what is better for black? Is it the middle game or should he go into the end game? Sports with Anish, Abhiraj Ratna, Akshay Mohan, everyone says endgame. Everyone, actually, no one is. Oh my god.
No, I was just about to say thanks to Sagar's relentless coaching, because I was expecting some guy will at least say middle game, but it looks like the general level of ChessBase India audience has increased a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also surprised. Like endgame, everyone, and
it is endgame.
So the reason why endgame is better is because
2 things. Let's get this. So this is going to be very instructive. So every time we are playing b6, no matter what, almost exclusively. Sooner or later we'll play b6 because we want to target these pawns either by bishop b7 or by knight c6. So I'm going to show the following. The structure. Imagine I have played b6 and let's just discuss the endgame. Let's go to the following position.
Okay, very cool. You just
So it's
removed all
again,
the pieces and only the pawns.
exactly. Now, I mean, normally it feels like black should be winning because you somehow distract the king, and then you come with your king and you start taking the pawn. That's not the case. The position is still drawn. I want to say one important thing. Always these pawns are stronger than this pawn because this is closer to the king. That is far away from the king. As simple as that.
Hmm.
We can go very quickly. All these positions are mostly equal. White brings the king, black brings the king. A quick question, what would you play here? It is not super important. Practically any move works out.
Hmm. Okay,
But
guys, black to play. What do you do here? First,
not
actually,
straight.
first move. It's not the most critical move because there might be several, but logically, what is the.
Yeah. I definitely want to learn this one, which you do, Sagar, in your stream.
Yeah.
I really like it, this move lock thing.
By the way, today it seems like the moves are not updated. I'll write to the programmer, but the move that has been mentioned by many of the people is King D6 and B5. These are the two
Yeah.
moves.
I would say b5 is more precise because you simply stop his king. And
Hmm.
after king c3, you also stop his entry completely. But it turns out black also cannot win. But again, if I have to pick a color, I will always pick black here because I have the outside passed pawn. So we can conclude that any king pawn endgame, black is happy. Let's move on. Imagine we get a queen pawn endgame,
Oh, you're going to. Oh, this is so cool. Hmm.
right? So again, the same story. And I'm giving white to move. And let's say white is pushing this pawn.
Yeah.
Now, one simple question. Do you think this pawn is going to scare black, or it's completely fine? Is it a scary pawn? Is it a good pawn, or it just doesn't matter?
Let's ask the chat. My feeling I'll share with you. Also, guys, do you think D5 is a scary pawn for black? Yes or no? Shaurya Chess says no. Raghav Bansal says fine. Sports with Tanish, fine. Abhiraj Ratna even goes to say it's weak. Mike Anetkar says fine. So everyone looks, most of the people think it's fine. A few think it's scary.
Yeah. So the thing is, it is very close to the king, which means even if it comes, all the way here, it's no big deal. I mean, we can always put our king here, and probably white will have to make a draw. But of course, we are not going to allow that. We put our queen on d6 and we start pushing our queen side pawns. B5, b5, b4, a5. And once again, that is very far away from the king. Queen pawn endgame, we are not bothered. Moving on quickly, rook pawn endgame. Again, the same story. In fact, in rook pawn endgames, already it is black who should look forward to. I'm just making some normal move. Let's say rook a1. It is a normal move, right?
Yes.
I play rook fd8.
Attacking
Rook
the
f8.
d4 pawn. Yeah, I defend it.
Normal move, right?
Yeah.
Already after two normal moves, it is black who is taking over.
Really?
Because suddenly it turns out, how do you defend? I mean, either you have to give the c5, because once I play king f8, I want to take and take here.
So your threat is to get rid of the back rank mate with king f8, then take on c1 and d4 pawn is hanging. So if I got king f1, king e2, king e3, then maybe white is okay, but he's one move behind.
Yes, I mean, even if you get your king on e3, it is not scary for me under any circumstances. That's my point.
Right.
I mean, imagine even if you get your king on a3, I'll start pushing my pawns. I'm never worried about this pawn. So that's the main thing. Are we clear until this point?
Yeah, guys, I see some people saying, I'm a little scared, but I know that I should not be scared. Not here, not maybe the queen endgame, because it's a passed pawn, you could feel scared, but here I think it's clear that black has nothing to worry because king comes in.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how I also taught in the Chessable course. This time we have all major pieces. And again, same story. White makes some move. We keep developing. Every time e5, you have queen d5. Every time d5, there is a solid blockade. He gets the rook out, you start changing. So the concept is any exchange is good for you. Literally any exchange. Every time you trade pieces, you are getting one step, one step of relief.
So with all the major pieces, whether it's rook endgame or queen endgame, it's completely fine for black.
Yeah, and also, okay, if you check with computer will start saying, h3, h6. Black starts playing slowly, b5, b4, a5.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's move on again. Minor piece. There is a saying that if you have more space, then trade major pieces so that, your king can come.
Right.
Sorry, not like this, your king can come. The way I see these positions is it's not easy to advance these pawns. Because even if you manage to advance, again, this king will come and gobble up the pawn. So in endgame, this is more of an obligation. Let's make some normal move. He brings king, he is bringing king. And again, what I like about this, we could also have done it here, but let's say we do it here. Very simple strategy. What is our strategy? What is one of our strategies?
What should be black's strategy here? One of the main things.
One of the basic thing in Semi Tarrasch.
Okay.
Beautiful. Vinod says exchange pieces. That's it. And push queenside pawns. Now, can you do both? Can you exchange pieces and then push pawns?
So yeah, I was thinking that you have to push your queenside pawns, but here it's difficult because of the bishop on d3.
Yes. So what is the move?
So what should you play, guys? Meera Tripathi says exchange light squared bishop. And
again, I want to emphasize that these moves are not only moves, but it gives you an idea what is the easiest way to play so that your moves will be flowing.
Right. Yeah, Kadambini, Kumari, Tulya, Melyapola, Chessy Creation, Satyamja all say bishop a6 here.
Exactly. Just keep changing. And even, if he gets his knight on e5, it might feel like this knight is very good and this knight is not doing anything. You have your same theme. You trade pieces, F6, you control the c4 square, stop king c4. Next, you are playing f6. After king c3, you play a5. And you ask white, whose knight is stronger once I play f6?
F6, once then you go king d6, knight c6, and you are
PC. Exactly. And once again, we can see, our pawns are better than white's pawns. Let's move on. Now I'll move slightly faster because basic theme is same. Right. White makes some move. We start bringing our pieces, attack the pawn. And here, actually, this is a very classic example. If you look at white's pieces, all white's pieces are kind of defending. More on a defending side of his own pawns. So we go rook c8, we are threatening knight into d4 tactically.
Because, yeah, take and then take the rook on c1 and then d4 is hanging. Right.
So after king f, sorry. Oops, I just revealed the move. My bad. But after king f1, I was about to say that in a game, probably I would play king f8, king e7 and keep the game more dynamic because again, I want to push my pawns. But I wanted to ask what is the easiest way to, if you want to kill the game immediately. I guess chat already saw the move.
Yeah. I think that. But black, yes. White has rook c7 in the end. But there is bishop a6 check, right? So
correct. So also there is rook d1 check, yeah?
Right.
I mean, if you really want to liquidate, you can take here, play g5, rook b2 check, king g7, no problem again.
Correct.
Let's move on.
Surya, there was this one game I remember, like this one, yeah, something like this, of Carlsen versus MVL, where Carlsen had this central pawn. It came from Grunfeld, not Semi Tarrasch. And Carlsen
Right.
somehow managed to win that game. I don't know if it was similar like this,
Right.
but he got his
So,
king to the center and got d5 break and so on.
so that's one thing. Like, if you imagine, the endgames that we are discussing, you have the same endgame with his king on d4, pawn on d5, but that's not happening. Obviously.
That is something you should avoid as black.
Very important. So I will get there. Very important. We never trade queens when white king is on the center. We never do this. So even here it's the same thing. He attacks. Okay, we play something like this. And once again, this is another classic example. Try to move white's pawns. It just does not move. And what is up? Like computer says, okay, something like h4, h6,
King f1,
queen,
maybe trying to
queen d6, queen b4. Your plan is very straightforward. So that's the thing I like about this position in general. Like every endgame I see, it is actually fine for black. So yeah, in the course you will see I basically checked all sorts of endgames
with the like knights, without the bishops. Now without the knights. Okay.
Yeah. Now that we have done, this series, we can say a few things. We get to this position that any exchange white is not happy about. Are we clear at this point? Like, white do not want to change.
Right.
However, we never ever play this when the king is in center.
Because then he can quickly come king e2, king e3, and his king is well placed in the center.
Yes. So now that we saw the so-called boring endgames, let's get some fireworks.
Okay.
You'll be really amazed. Couple of moves. So there is bishop e2, bishop d3, bishop c4, as I said initially, and all rook moves. It kind of gets intimidating. Why white is playing bishop c4, why white is playing bishop d3, why white is moving his rooks. But if you understand the logic, then it becomes very simple. Then your moves are flowing.
Okay, you can explain the logic. What I learned when I was growing up is I saw this one game of Polugarsky versus Tal, in which bishop comes to c4, white rook from a1 goes to d1, castles, and rook f e1, and white was having this great center, and he was trying for d5 break, some pawn sacrifice lines and all of that.
Absolutely, I would say that's one of the main setup. Now when we are talking about this setup, you can see white has cunningly placed his pieces in such a way so that you cannot exchange. Very important that you cannot actually trade pieces. Before we get there, I want to discuss why there are all these rook moves. Why white is moving rook, when he should be castling. Now, the point here is black wants to play b6, bishop b7 and attack this guy. So if white puts his bishop here or here, then we attack this pawn. Now, can someone tell me what happens for bishop d3? White can simply protect the pawn.
Yeah.
What should white do after bishop d3?
Okay, what should black do after white goes bishop d3 in the position?
Chat has become exceptionally strong. I know, seriously, because I used to come here stream frequently, right?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the difference now.
And the thing is that many of them were there since when you were come at the start, so they have also improved a lot.
Vaito. Fantastic. Yeah, knight c6. Basically, if bishop comes to d3, so we can say we want to attack one of these pawns. Either it will be by knight c6 when you play bishop d3, or it will be by b6, bishop b7 if you develop the bishop elsewhere. Now we are clear why white is playing some move like, let's say, rook b1. He is waiting for you to make a move.
So if you play knight c6, then basically the knight is not so well placed because the d4 pawn is protected and he'll put it on c4.
Correct. So very quickly, of course, I cannot show all the variations, but I'll just give a basic outline.
Yeah.
So let's say rook b1, I play b6. Now with that logic, you will have to come to d3. I play knight c6 and queen e3. So white's argument here is, I have forced you to play knight c6 and b6 both, which means you are missing queen f5 check. Right? But here the problem is, we are saying the rook is misplaced. It is bishop who has to go there. So we play queen e7.
And if you can exchange something, it's already good for you. So
always. And we get knight to b4. Bishop b7 is coming. If you put it on c4 or b5, I go to c2. Like imagine, let's say bishop c4. First I attack this guy.
Yeah.
And then there is this massive fork here.
And bishop e2?
If you play bishop e2, then I'm playing bishop b7. Every time in Semi Tarrasch, if white is unable to get some break or create some sort of an attack somewhere, we have no problem. Because we know any endgame is better for us. So if you let black play easily, after a few moves, it's black who is already getting a very comfortable position. So the natural question comes, two things. Why should I put my rook on b1? Let me put it on c1.
Yeah, then I can put my bishop back on b1.
So I play c6, you play bishop d3, you say I have stopped knight c6 also.
Right.
One question for chat. What is the disadvantage of rook on c1? Pure logic. No.
This is not easy.
No, chat is strong nowadays.
But this is not straightforward, guys. What should we do? And by the way, Colle Shadow Facts has sent a super chat asking, Surya bhai, Sagar bhai, I'm scared of losing in chess games and stop playing for some time. Can you give me some advice on how I can overcome it? Surya, how would you give like a very short advice that he can overcome his fear of losing?
So there is this story here, like some guy goes to Lucknow and he's searching for Taj Mahal. And for 1 week he is searching for Taj Mahal. He could not find it, and then he is very frustrated. Then he finds another person who is of let's say same some friend, let's say one of his friend, and he meets this guy. This guy is driving taxi. And he says, hey, I'm trying to find Taj Mahal for like 1 week and I could not find. And his friend slaps him very hard. Like, why did you slap me? He's like, I am here for 2 years trying to find Taj Mahal. I'm driving taxi. I'm going everywhere. I could not find. And you want to find in 1 week. So the answer is like that. Yeah, I'm playing for 32 years. We are still scared of losing and everything. And you want to get away immediately. No, that's not happening.
No, he was looking for some very nice answer of Taj Mahal, and you. Okay, so your answer to this Colle Shadow Facts is that you'll have to still wait for a few years.
You basically get used to it, yeah. Like at some point you realize that this fear is not getting you anywhere. So
very
it's
practical.
Good to have sense of danger. I think that's the on a serious answer, that it's good to have sense of danger, but fear of losing is not ideal. Sense of danger is very good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
By the way, a lot of people said bishop a6 in this position. Is that a good move?
That's a possibility, but after bishop a6, then again we have to relocate the knight somehow. There is an easier way. We don't have to change immediately. The argument is rook on c1 is actually misplaced.
But it looks great on an open file.
Because you make some normal move. I want to play rook c8 and I want to exchange. So my next move is, correct. No matter what you play, for example, you play rook fe1, I start exchanging. I want to take queen b8, rook c8, exchange that also. In fact, so again, the concept is very easy. Here you play rook c8. If he allows that, take that also. If he does not allow, play queen c7, queen c3. Are we clear again?
Yeah. If you get a chance to exchange pieces, you should try. But maybe in that case, bishop a6, which was okay. The better is to get the rook on the c file.
Yes. So the rook move that I'm going to show is something that Anish played twice in, I think, 2020. He played rook d1.
And Anish is like, I don't want to develop my bishop first. I want to put my rook here. So on b1, it does not block the bishop from d3 to b1. On c1, it is not on an open file. So on d1, it's perfect.
Correct. And I always try to make our repertoire very unique. And one thing I can guarantee that my repertoire, I am ready to play with anyone. And feel free to play this with absolutely at any level.
Really?
Now, here, for example, if you check in the database, there are more than 50 games. Almost exclusively, they play b6. White goes bishop d3, knight c6, and exactly what we had. Knight b4, bishop b1. Now, this is very instructive, and it's a trap that white has here. What move looks tempting here?
Bishop a6.
Absolutely.
Stopping
there is only
castle.
one. There is only one reason why this move is bad. It's not. It's a bit difficult, I must say.
Guys, white to play.
It's a two move thing, but this one is difficult. It's an opening trap, I can say. The first move is correct. Very good chat. The first move is
Learn
correct.
chess with Indian, Indrajit forever, Akshay Mohan, Surindera, Tushar Sanpal. Everyone said queen a3.
Absolutely, that's super move. But
I thought it's queen e7, right? I mean, just defend your knight.
So the next move is what? Creating the problem. If white did not have this particular move, then I would have suggested, go for this. What is this particular move?
Because now I don't have a threat of knight d3, but I have threat of knight c2 now.
Absolutely. So first of all, watch out this. Your king is stuck. It looks like black is better, but black is actually worse. I got the first correct answer. Yeah, you need to play a3. How can you play a3? You need to move your queen.
So is the answer queen a4?
Absolutely.
Sports with Tanish, Priyabrata Sinha. Amazing job, guys. That was very, very well done. Yeah.
So you can imagine, in opening, things can get very subtle. So this is because of this queen a4 move, the whole idea stands for white. Now, the move that I am suggesting against rook d1, which there's just I think one game, but never at a GM level or IM level.
So you're not basically knight c6 is off the menu because d4 is well protected. b6 is because we just discussed right now, that is off the menu. So we have to find something apart from that.
Wow, already a correct answer. Amazing.
Surya, the thing is that the way you have showed Semi Tarrasch right now, I just feel let's end this session as quickly and let me go and play some games. because I never thought about it in this way that, okay, this is, like the endgame way. It was more like move by move, always where to play opening theory. But having that idea of what we are looking for in the endgame does make the opening easier to play.
Exactly. So that's what I feel most of the time. If we start memorizing, actually, this I even said in the course that in my opinion, memorizing without understanding is the other name of stupidity. So we have to understand what we are playing. Whatever it is, you can play any opening, whether it is King's Indian, Nimzo Indian, does not matter. But you need to understand it and not memorize it. By the way, absolutely correct. The brilliant move is bishop d7.
Wow, Surindera, well done. And also Venkatesh Deshpande, Sandeep Daniel, Sandeep Kulkarni, Joker Gaming, well done. Yeah, you hit on a4, the rook also.
And again, your play is very simple. Now, no matter where he develops his bishop, first you go bishop a4, you hit the rook, Then depending on if he has kept it here, you can come back. And if he has kept it here, you can play knight c6.
Nice.
This immediately solves everything.
So
And
let's say
imagine
if he goes bishop d3, then bishop a4, rook b1, and knight c6, attacking d4.
now already it just gets difficult to protect this pawn.
And if queen e3, then maybe queen e7 with the idea of knight
Queen f5 check. Queen f5 check, knight b4.
Right.
So it suddenly gets not very easy. Bishop c4, okay, I want to play bishop c6. d5, I want to take. He has to play castle because he cannot allow rook e8 check. And again, very important, I just play bishop a4, which means white has to go for endgame one more time by playing
queen d5.
Bishop b3. Queen d5 is probably bishop d1.
Bishop d1, sorry.
So that's for the rook.
b3, okay.
That's for the rook move. So this bishop d7, I wanted to actually highlight that, it's always possible to find very strong novelty. Even I can tell you who are the black players who face this position. Duda, Nepomniachtchi, Wesley. Wow. There are many games from white side, Mamedero, Anish, Navara. And of course, many grandmasters face this from either color. But bishop d7 has never been played.
So firstly, you have to understand why white is making those rook moves and not moving his bishop and castling. And then you have to actually find the improvement for black. So which is really very cool.
Exactly. Now,
few people like Akshay Mohan is asking, what is the idea of bishop d7? Well, the idea is that you put your bishop on a4. That is one of the main concepts. And also the other thing is that you are waiting for the bishop to develop on e2 or
Correct. The next one again, there is this move bishop d3.
Yeah, knight c6, yes.
Yeah, there are like 170 games, Magnus played this one, Wesley, Fedoshev. From black side, Kramnik, Dingliren, many games. So what do we do for bishop d3, by the way? I think this we spoke already.
Yeah, we have asked. Let's just quickly ask them, guys. What do you do here? Sports with Anish said you showed this, right? Yeah, I think the logical move that should happen here is because the d4 pawn is not well protected. Yeah.
Knight c6. Now there are a couple of moves. Let's see. Magnus played this move twice. Also Wesley played, Fedoshev played. Clearly the main move, bishop to c2.
You basically are defending your d4 pawn, and also now e4 is also defended because bishop is on c2.
Should we play this move or not? Should we play queen a5 or not?
Queen a5 here. Is it a good move, guys? Absolutely not. Yeah, everyone has learned it clearly that when you said if the king is in the center, don't exchange the queens, should not exchange.
Okay. Make a move. I want to what would be your move here? We don't want to play b6 obviously because this is now blocked. We can play queen a5 after he has castle, right? This we can definitely do. We would love to do that.
Okay. So we can keep that option open.
Yeah. Now I already see Savita Chess, Sandeep Kulkarni, they suggested bishop d7. I want to ask how difficult it was to play bishop d7. Was it very difficult to find?
No, I mean, if you understand this thing that if castles you want to go queen a5 and b6, bb7 is not very effective, maybe you can come to this move.
Yeah. Now, you will be surprised that it has never been played.
Wow. I was thinking queen e7, Surya, to prepare knight b4, but maybe not so effective.
No, queen e7. Can I actually go slightly deep? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Queen e7. By the way, Queen E7 is one of the main move. It has been played by Ding Xiong. This Queen E7 is fine. There is no problem. But I will go slightly deep. This is not strictly relevant because I do not suggest Queen E7. I don't think it's a practical move. I will not play Queen E7. However, it's perfectly fine. If you check with computer, it's all good. White plays castle, black plays rook d8, attacking the pawn. My problem in this particular position is white can play the move d5. It gets a bit deep, so really deep here.
ED.
Knight b4 or ed, either way. I mean, we get to this particular position. And now the tactics that works here is knight into d5. After bishop into d5,
bishop e6.
what do we play?
Oh,
bishop
if I
e6.
go bishop e6, there is rook e1.
Which rook? Which rook would you put?
Yeah. I think rook. Which rook? Yeah, that's an important question, guys.
So it gets very forcing.
Because fe1, maybe there is queen f6, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely so. So rook a1 is correct. Because there is no queen a1. Computer says, this is piece of cake. It's equality. You play queen c5. White must take on e6 with the rook because otherwise he is a pawn down.
Yeah.
This is pin.
Yeah.
I understand this. It feels like almost white is lost because we are attacking both of these guys.
Yeah.
There is a very strong move here by white.
Guys, try to find, this is crazy because if you move the queen fe6 and you are exchanged out.
You are exchanged out. So you have to find the only move here. Rook c1. And this all has been played, by the way. Rook c1.
Well done. Lunch chess with Indian. Amazing.
Sorry?
Yeah, I mean, someone found this rook c1 quite quickly. That's amazing.
Yeah. And once again, it is only move for black.
I mean, if I play rook d2, there is rook c5.
Yeah. Rook d2, rook c5. So if you take here, white takes here.
Piece down and rook d1, rook e1. Yeah, so I can't take.
So you have to move your queen.
And I also have to keep the d5 rook defended.
That means there is only one square.
Yeah, b5.
Queen b5, white moves the queen. And there was a game which kind of ended in a draw.
What? Rook c8?
No, rook c8, you have rook d8.
Ah.
So first of all, this is very forcing. This is the game that ended in a draw with knight f7, king g8, knight h6. It's a draw between Leon Mendonca versus Vincent Keimer.
Oh, in the Challengers event.
Yes. But the biggest problem I ran into this was exactly at this point, if black would have had his pawn on a6, then rook b6 wins. Now the question is, why would I have my pawn on a6?
Yeah.
There is no need, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to have my pawn on a6. But if it was on a6, then it was losing. The moment I realized this, I went back and I checked, strong players, they will remember and they can say, if you play direct bishop d3, I play queen e7. But there is this move bishop b5.
Oh, man.
And a6, bishop d3. So which
and
means,
now knight c6.
Which means now you cannot enter the same variation. And I don't want this kind of information in my head.
No, come on, Surya. This is unbelievable deep because I remember in Grunfeld, there are these lines where you provoke a6, but that's just like 3 moves ahead or 4 moves ahead. This you are going like 15 moves ahead.
Yeah. So also, I don't want to give any of my readers a line that I cannot remember clearly. So I need simplicity. Like if I'm playing queen e7, I'll play in both cases. If I'm playing bishop d7, I'll play in both cases. I don't want this switch. Like, here I'll play bishop d7, but there I will play queen e7. This I absolutely hate. And I try to avoid throughout my courses such things.
Amazing.
That's the reason after bishop d3, I go bishop d7. So again, no game. If castle, I'm
Castle,
going queen
then queen
a5.
a5. Yeah.
So the main move, and also I believe the reason why bishop d7 is not very popular is white has the move rook b1.
Yeah, rook b1 makes
White
sense.
gives the argument you have not played a6, which means there is no b5.
And also, if you play b6, then now castles and you have no queen a5.
Exactly. Perfect. So that means if I play bishop d7, I just need to solve one issue, that is rook b1. Right? And now you will see something, and after this, I don't think anybody will say that Semi Tarrasch is boring. So
Okay.
I play rook c.
I was thinking b5, but that doesn't make sense. Or
b5 is possible, but rook c1 is
rook c8 is better.
Yeah, is just so much better.
Okay, if I castle, you'll go queen a5, right?
Exactly.
So rook takes
Exactly.
b7 now, maybe most logical.
Yeah. So what is the logical move? So this is what I like about my
Course, yeah.
course. The moves should flow. It does not matter how many material you are losing. Keep making normal moves. Now you have lost a pawn. So now you cannot say I want to change queens.
Yeah.
Now you have to play for attack. We have already lost a pawn. And of course, we cannot play queen f5 because d7 is hanging.
Himansh Sarkar says, how about queen a5 after rook b1 to force the exchange and protect? No, I think that then the, like, if we make the move queen a5, queen takes a5, knight a5, then just king e2, yeah, and I think white is doing very well.
I think this we agreed at the beginning that the king should not be in the center when we are changing queens.
Right. So after rook c8, rook b7, Pratik, Bhatt, Savita, Chess, Aradhya, Jain, Sports with Tanish, Nihar, PV, STB says knight a5. Yeah.
Absolutely. Knight a5. White takes.
Yes.
I mean, what else? If white goes back, I am playing knight c4. This is not fun.
No, I'll get 2 pawns now, yeah, after rook a7. So at least knight c4.
So,
Maybe, or no.
this move is kind of important. Now we are playing for the king. We cannot allow him to castle. And is white having a threat immediately?
Yeah, take the knight, yes. Oh, not. Is it a threat or not?
No, knight take is not a very serious threat. C2 bishop is hanging. But king is very important. You cannot let this king run.
Ooh, man, Ajay Arvind, very good. I think that's the Akshay Mohan, Dev Dattan, Tulya, Rupak Banerjee, Supercom, Nihar K. Is it right, Surya? Bishop b5?
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
White cannot take. If white takes, this king is now dying there.
No, let's say if I take queen a5, you will take directly rook c2. No.
Yeah, I can. I can take directly rook c2. Why not?
And then if queen d8, rook d8.
I'll just ask one question. What are you going to do with this king?
Is it like I'm 2 pawns up, but I can't prevent rook c1 check?
Yes, it's just over.
And if king d1, maybe just
rook c8 and then rook c1 maybe. So the only move according to Indian is to go for the bishop.
If rook a5, there is also rook c2.
Rook a5 is also rook takes c2.
Yeah.
You take, I take.
And queen a5.
Again, it's the same thing. You're actually playing a piece down and king in the center. It would have been a different story if this rook was, let's say, on a1. And all these kind of positions are just collapsing for white.
Right.
Because you can play knight d2, but all your pieces are stuck.
Okay. Great.
So white plays a4. Now we go knight c4.
Yeah. Queen b4. Yeah. I'm still not convinced that because white, if he can castle now, he's all set.
We resign. If white castles, we resign. That's it. But the key is development. So how do you develop?
Black to play, guys. Keep the fire going.
Yeah, just keep the fire going. It has to be very energetic. Yes, the correct answer again.
Whoa, I really Queen B6? Akshay
Yes.
Mohan, Tushar, Mistadam, Tulya. By the way, there was one question just very quickly.
Mhm.
After Rook A5, Rook C2, Queen A5 takes, and Queen D2, they were saying that is this okay? But again, I
Uh,
am not going to exchange the Queen. Yeah,
just Queen A4 or Queen A3. The problem is, okay,
Rook
you're playing,
C8.
without
Exactly.
need to.
Exactly.
This I would believe, it should be just lost even.
Hmm.
Can't imagine how you're getting out here. Rook C8, Rook C2. Even if nothing works, even if I play, Rook 8 and take this, even then those two pieces are not going anywhere.
Right.
So
Bishop
getting
is
back
amazing.
to, getting back to Queen B6, Rook E7. Imagine, playing this position as white. Computer says 0.00, but the next move is absolutely brilliant.
Black to play, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm losing the bishop, and if I move the bishop, queens get traded. So I just don't want to do move the bishop, I guess, over there.
What piece you would like to move?
Knight. But where?
Where? There are,
Oh,
there are correct answers coming.
really?
Yes, that's the move.
Mike Chess says knight a3. Aradhya Jain says knight d6. Here I'm not even sure what's the right move.
Knight A3 is correct.
Knight
You did.
a3. Wow. Aradhya B. Rupak Banerjee. Safal Fazil. Mistadam. Well done, guys.
So Semi Tarrasch is not exactly boring. Now the problem is,
Boring. This seems like the most exciting. I'm like on the edge of my chair. What's going to happen next?
and if you think about this, white, it's not like I made some illogical moves by white. White developed, he took a pawn, and now it's not easy. If Queen A3, I'm giving Queen A5 check.
Yeah.
Or even, I'm giving Queen A5 check.
And I can't take on b5 because knight c2 is a massive fork. So
Correct. So Bishop D3. And that will give the answer why we played knight A3 and not knight D6. Because I saw in the chat, some said, why not to put the knight on D6. So white says, fine, if you want to take my exchange, go ahead and take it. I will take your bishop, and your knight will be still misplaced.
Right.
We are not giving rook c1 check.
Yeah, we should not. I mean, that gives over the initiative to white.
Yeah. Another absolutely brilliant move.
Okay, the threat is 8 takes b5. So you need to do something about your bishop there.
Yes.
Um,
Okay, bishop d3 we cannot play. Queen is hanging. Rook c2 is good. I would say the move is similar using this fork.
But I just take ab5, no? There is no threat.
Exactly. Rook c2, there is no threat. ab5. How else can you use this fork? The only piece that is defending is bishop.
Oh my. Oh, guys. Oh, Kylo, Mistadam, Mike Chess, tremendous. Learn chess with Indian, Ajay Arvind. Now everyone's getting it, I think. Rook c4, yeah, Surya?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
amazing.
And once again, white cannot take here because we give check, we take here, we give check, and basically it's a complete massacre.
Queen a3 is just lost. Okay.
Yeah, Queen a3 is just over. White must find only move. Unfortunately, Indian is still holding. But
Queen d2.
here, for example, there are many moves. If you want to be a very simple, if you want to play simple, Rook a4 is also apparently equal. No, but I don't want that.
You want to keep the fire.
Go absolutely crazy. What is one of the craziest moves? You really want to play this move. The most aesthetically pleasing move. What is the most aesthetically pleasing move? Knight c2, it's a normal move.
Oh, how about our okay. Let's see, guys.
Not rook c8, no. It has to be more crazy. Not rook c8, not rook c2.
No one, yeah, yet.
No, not yet. This one, no. One, yes. I mean, he just gave the notation wrong.
Many people want to take on d4, rook d4, but
Interesting. I think at this point, computers are saying there are probably many options. But yeah, finally, the correct answer is coming.
oh, bishop a4 or what? No, bishop
Knight
a4.
b1 actually.
I was thinking knight b1 because this knight started from b8 and has reached b1.
Exactly.
But bishop
exactly.
b1?
So bishop b1 is obligatory.
Yes.
So at this point, we are one piece down, one pawn down. Computer holds this position with absolute miracle. Like there is just only one move that holds. And first of all, it's not at all easy to find. Black is saying, okay, you are playing one piece down.
Yeah.
Second piece is not doing anything.
Yeah.
So basically, these two rooks are not doing anything. I want to play rook a1, bishop a6. Your queen is locked because every time you have to watch out for queen a5. But it turns out
I think you need to move your knight somehow and get f3, but it's too slow. d4 also hangs there. So
yeah. It has to be queen c3.
queen
Absolutely
c3, stopping rook a1.
Yeah. And after rook c4, he has to go back queen d2, rook a4, game ends in a draw. What can be done? We cannot, of course, if we start checking all the good moves, we cannot.
Guys, you just got a glimpse of world championship preparation here, broken down in basic terms. I think Surya, this is good enough for a very high quality preparation, right?
Yes. No, all my preparation, I can guarantee that you go and play in literally at any level, any tournament. So when I made these courses, I made sure there is zero compromise on the quality. In terms of moves, I have never compromised. But when it comes to explanation, then I really want to break it down. I want to make it as logical as possible.
Yeah. No, this is just unbelievable, Surya. And I mean, guys, there is no doubt about Surya's ability as with chess analysis. When he was working with Vishy, he won 3 world championship matches. Anand won 3 world championships. So he understands all these things. But to break this down in the way he did, which is understandable for all of us, I think that's the true skill here.
Shall we move to some other system? So, like for example, some sidelines like Colle System.
Let's take like a few minutes and just show the direction, because we discussed this in so much depth, so we can look at how.
Basically, Colle System, my thing is you learn in like 5-6 minutes max.
Okay.
Right.
So basically, through this, they will get a weapon against Colle, which they can get a good position with black.
Yes. Yes.
In 5 minutes. Okay.
In 5 minutes.
Okay.
So Colle System is starting here.
Yes.
And the good part about the course is no matter what, your first few moves against the sidelines are knight f6, d5, c5. If you get a chance, you do this. Of course, if he plays d4, knight f6, c4, we don't get it. Here, there are 2 ways. I mean, traditionally, Colle is like 2. Yeah, either you play b3 or you play c3.
Yeah, c3 is the more solid, or you can say unambitious way to play. b3 is this more ambitious way, right, to play the.
Correct. But this move order takes care of b3 immediately with very simple logic. White wants to play bishop b2, which means he will take sooner or later d into c5.
Don't tell me you take directly first.
You take immediately.
Oh, nice.
You take immediately. He takes.
Because if you take with the knight, then black gets the center.
Then e5 happens. He takes, you play knight c6. Now, he cannot stop bishop g4 and bishop f5 at the same time. So you will get one of those. And you will play e6. So your bishop is getting out, you are playing e6. And the main thing is, white wants a structure like this so that he can develop his bishop somewhere here. His fundamental problem is, now if he develops here, it's hitting the wall. if he develops on the other side, this square is forever weak.
Correct. B3 just doesn't make sense here.
Yeah. So that's it. My basically my line ends right here.
Right. No, this I agree with you that even the bishop on B2 is very passive. And
Yeah. So more popular actually is the move C3.
I'm
In terms
actually a
of,
bit worried about D takes C5 here. Is that a move?
Yeah, D takes C5 in Chessable Masters. Lei Kwang played a couple of times. Do you want me to? This is not exactly Colle system, but there is a.
It would be like reversed QGA, sort of.
Yeah, it is like reverse QGA. You get a position like. The thing is, you cannot save the pawn.
P6.
There are again in the main file in the main.
But this is the way you play. You just hit A5 and B6. Okay, got it.
Yeah, you just get the pawn back. But of course, in the main file, you have much more depth and clarity. But sidelines are very easy to play. For example, this one, the only exception when we don't play knight c6 because he's taking d into c5. Again, the concept is very important for me. So the moment he has played this kind of setup, his bishop is weak. He has two plans. Either he is going for dc5, b4, bishop b2, c4 and activating that bishop, or he is going for an early e4 plan. There is no other way he's going to get this bishop out.
Right.
And for us, castle is important but not urgent. Most of the times what happens are we think, yeah, if my opponent will play this, I'll see it over the board. And that's where the problem begins. Like if you have little bit of clarity, then all these sidelines you'll be completely confident. I start with e6. You play bishop d3.
Yeah.
Now, what is important here? Is it castle is important or stopping e4 is important?
Guys, what is more important that black should do here? Stopping e4 for white, or should he try to castle? Rupak Banerjee says preparation to become GM. I do feel that if such opening training is done, I can become GM very quickly. Yeah. So few sessions with Surya.
Yeah. So the thing is, as I said in the introduction, like my course is a complete failure if it does not make you a better player. Because in the course, for example, I added about 240 training positions. Anand used to do this memory jog. That is, we used to give him training positions from his repertoire.
Oh, yes.
Which he had to solve. And everything was always mixed up. So he would not know, what kind of, whether it's a tactics or anything. So we would just, give him different positions from his opening repertoire, which he had to solve repeatedly. So I added like around 240 training positions in the course, which will not only make sure that your opening gets revised, but simply just makes you a better player.
Amazing.
So yeah, stopping e4. And the second plan is he takes here, so we should be ready. With that, can we say where we want our knight? c6 or d7? Two things. We want to stop e4. We want to be ready for d into c5. Where this knight should go?
Actually, knight on c6 puts pressure on d4 in a way.
But it doesn't stop d into c5 ideas.
Right. D into c5 followed by e4. Like knight d2 and e4.
Correct.
So knight d7.
Takes care of this forever. He castles or he plays knight b2. It does not matter.
Yeah. b6.
White is still not ready to play e4 because
so if I play castle now, you will play bishop b7. So and I can't play e4 directly before that because
so the only thing is here you play knight e4 and that's all you need to know for Colle system. Now you asked a very important question: why not to play e4 here? I take. What is the only move that could actually bother you here?
e5.
Absolutely.
No, because if I take cd, then d4.
Correct. Absolutely. And e5, I take here.
B takes c3.
There are two moves that wins here.
Wins?
Can I get any one of them? Yeah. This is like -4 for black.
Oh, yes. Guys, black to play. What would you do here?
There are two moves which is which are completely winning.
I saw both of them.
And you saw both of them. Wow.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
one is the, let's see, knight c5, yeah,
Yeah. One is knight c5. Absolutely.
which is natural.
Yeah.
And people are saying knight g4, but I don't think that is a good move, right?
No.
Knight
Knight on
g4.
g4. No. Probably because of maybe queen a4.
Queen a4. Yes, and one of your knight is pinned.
Yeah.
And the second move is Saha, Dimitri, Mike Chess are saying queen c7.
Exactly. Queen c7 takes, queen c3 resigns. -4. This is
amazing.
That's it for Colle System. So this is what I like about the repertoire. You just spend 5 minutes, you are all set forever, basically.
Brilliant. Surya, can you do this 5-minute thing for London system?
London will be very difficult to cover in 5 minutes.
But London, if they want to learn, then it's in first course.
It's in first course. Yeah, I can give you the setup anyway. Like we are the reason why London is difficult in 5 minutes is because there are so many move orders. Good part is absolutely I do not care how white is playing. I'm always going for this.
Okay.
Like really does not matter. I can close my eyes and I'll play this this exact same setup.
c5. Okay. If knight f3, yes.
Yeah, knight c6.
And now I think knight d2 is the most important move here, right?
Correct. Knight d2 is the most important move. And more or less, it doesn't matter. Like
I thought c3, then you can go like queen b6 here, no?
Exactly. You always go queen b6 when you have this tactics like queen b3, c4.
Right.
Queen c2, you have this bishop f5 trick. So knight d2 is the main move.
Yeah, I think this is what Nihal also plays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Queen
So
b6.
this.
But now dc5. dc5 is again the main move, and now I guess
this is the starting position of London.
Yes.
They play bishop b5 almost exclusively. There is also bishop d3. And here, more than 300 games, they played e6. But my suggestion is g6.
Ooh.
It again bypasses a lot of lines. It has been played by Sam Shankland, Duda, Wesley, Ding.
Just to tell the guys that here you cannot play queen takes c5 instead of g6 or e6, because then white gets c4 right at the time, and then it becomes very dangerous for black.
Yes.
He's lagging behind.
Yeah, here the queen is safe here. Queen doesn't have to move. You can just focus on developing.
A new idea, yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I won't say this is new because actually Sam already suggested this in his Chessable course on Semi-Slab, and I improvised on that. But it's very direct. Again, it's very easy to play. So this is I got an interesting question. Castle, bishop g7, e4. I think you are confusing with e4 here, because this is the main move. D into e4, and now there is bishop e5 and all other stuff.
So it's a very complicated line, and here you have to be very well prepared, basically.
You need to know certain moves, but again, the moves are not super difficult or anything.
Right. Okay, guys, this you can go and check in your in Surya's first course. And Surya, you also cover what to do against the Catalan in the second course. So if suppose someone plays d4, nf6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5. Here, by the way, just so that people get it in their head, if knight c3 instead of g3, then there is c5, which we just saw and we discussed for a long time. But instead of knight c3, if you go g3 in this position, then Surya has covered it.
So Catalan, my experience in Catalan started from Anand's training session, of course. Before that, I was not playing Catalan from either color. Especially during the Topalov match, we prepared Catalan heavily from white side. Then we wanted to, Anand won very nice games in Catalan from the white side. From the black side, on the same match, we prepared this particular line, bishop g2 and c5. This was our match preparation for Anand Topalov match. Few things. There are some novelties, which we prepared back in 2010. Some of them I could play. Actually, I got one of our idea that we found back in those days to play in 2022, I can see. There is one very interesting thing that I can actually share very quickly. I had to get the game. Hang on.
Yeah, sure. So d takes c4 and c5 is your suggestion against the Catalan.
Yes, that's the suggestion. But I just want to share this one story I had with Adiban actually. So Adiban was playing against Sveraj in World Team Championship Astana.
Where you both made gold medals.
Where Adiban got gold medal in board 1, I got gold medal in board 3. On this particular day, we were playing against US. So the game continued with knight c6. Now there are many moves: knight e5, queen f4, knight a3, dc5, etc. This particular game, knight e5 happened. He wants to take here. Very basic of Catalan. Whenever we get a position like this, Catalan, there are two things that black has to solve. One is this bishop. Second is to play c5. These are the two things. So the first thing is taken care here. The next thing is, if you get your bishop out, you're all set.
Right.
So we are again immediately attacking on the center. Knight e5, very main move.
Bishop d7, yes?
Yes. Knight c4 was played in the game. C into d4, we keep the center. And at this point, if white plays normally, we castle, we are actually just better. The theory goes with bishop f4, bishop e7. What should white play?
Knight d6, yeah.
Yes. Again, only move.
Knight b7, maybe.
Yeah. Queen to b6. Again, knight d6 is only move. And queen c5. Now, there is a very interesting story here. Very, very interesting. When we were preparing this line for the Topalov match, back in 2010, there were not that many games. One of the games in 2010, back then it was Leko Kramnik. White played the move queen b3, preparing rook c1. Kramnik took on d6, rook c1, and Kramnik played a very solid move. After that, this line was considered to be just equal.
Queen b4, yeah? Or what?
Yes, queen b4, and it was equal. We had this idea for the match, which in the match we could not play in 2010. But in 2018, Radek played this against Adams. He played b4. The concept here is black takes, white plays a3, black plays queen c5. What changed with this?
b4 square is under control.
b4 square is under control. So the move is queen b3. This was Wojtaszek versus Adams in 2018. So Radek basically waited 10 years, not 10 years, 8 years. He got this position. In the game, Adams blundered with knight a5. And after queen b4, he got into some sort of trouble. If you take, then again, all these pieces are attacked and so on. Radek won a nice game. I did not know Adiban prepared this line for this particular match. If he would have prepared, if I knew that he was going to play this line, I would have told him, don't play.
b4, because b4 is going to come.
No. Adiban was white. Adiban played b4.
Oh, really? Adiban was white.
Adiban was white.
So then why not to prepare? Because it's a good line, right?
Exactly. But we had a counter novelty. So we prepared b4, but we also had to check from black side, right? What if Topalov team had found b4 and what if Topalov team had gone for this? So we had this counter novelty, which is very unexpected. Suddenly it is white king, which is weak.
Here in this position?
Yes.
What, switch the queen to h5 or something?
and play g5, knight g4, and go for mate. So this was actually incredible. Like in the game, queen c4 happened, and here something was completely winning. At this point, I was so scared. Like when I saw, Adhivan started to think after queen h5, queen c4. Here, I think g5 just kills. And next knight g4.
g5, bishop c6.
I think it is knight g4.
Whoa.
h4, gf4, and then you take here.
But Sveris didn't find this.
Yeah, he played knight d5, and Adhivan made a draw. And I was playing on third board with Anish, which was also a Catalan, and I won that game. So it was all very cool. But yeah, I had no clue that, on first board, Adhivan is playing something where I know it is very dangerous. Now, you might ask, if we wanted to play b4, we knew the counter novelty of queen h5, then what were we intending to do against queen h5? It was not queen c4. We had some forced draw, which is given again in the course, but white has to be extremely precise.
But black holds this.
Amazing. So black is completely fine. Yeah, black is completely fine here.
By the way, in the chat, people are like, VU says this is crazy. Chess D says amazing. So Savita says this is fascinating. Surya's way of explaining is amazing. What the hell? So deep thinking and preparation. I think so, Surya, the thing is, 1 hour or 1.5 hours with you doesn't just teach them openings, it opens their horizons, basically. That this is how chess is.
Yeah, so basically when Chessable contacted me, for these opening courses, I really don't think, you need so much of opening and everything. But I made the course in such a way to make sure that you are improving as a player. So no matter what opening you are going to learn from me, I will make sure your understanding is improving. So that's the target. It is not about, memorizing bunch of moves. So if you check the video in the main course, throughout the course, you will see a lot of time I'm asking, here you pause the video, you try to find this move. What happens, what is the strategical concept here? So it's in a way interactive one-to-one actually. So that's the purpose.
Amazing.
So my suggestion is, why don't you check the short and sweet course, which is, free of cost.
It's in the first link. So you can go there and download it. You can just get it. Second and third links are basically paid. That's the part 2 is the second link. Part 1 is the third link. And the fourth link has everything of Surya. The 2 courses which are paid and the 2 courses which are free. So you can just go and check that out. All the links are in the description. Surya, today we learned Semi Tarrasch. We learned what to do against Colle. We got a bit of an idea of what to do against London. We also got a bit of an idea to do against Catalan. This is 1 hour 20 minutes beautifully spent.
Yeah, and I want to add one more thing. Like if you want to buy it, there is a huge discount. I think 43% discount is going on the course that I just published. So you can wait until the discount is over and buy it in the full price. That would be the smart thing to do
for Surya. But also it's his birthday on 24th, and I think this goes on till 24th, right?
Yeah, it goes on till 24th. So buy it on 25th February, set a reminder.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so do check it out. And Surya, once again, thank you so much for doing this. And as always, guys, you can write in the comments as to whether you learned something, what did you learn, and also if you have any questions there, you can type it in. Maybe I'll try to answer. I'll ask Surya for the answers for them.
Yeah, there is one last thing I would like to add before we wrap up, that once you buy it, you are also in the discussion forum. And those who bought it, they know I'm super active. So
basically they can ask questions there.
Yeah. What is very important is this database is floating. So for example, whatever I did in the part 1, it's actually constantly updating. For example, as White 2022 happened, all those games are again, updated there. So once you have the course, it will not get outdated anytime.
Fantastic, guys. And also, Godfrey says, would this course be suitable for blitz play at 2000 plus level?
Sure. I mean, you can play at any level. I would really recommend that go through the video, and you'll see in the video, I'm always saying, do not try to memorize anything. It's okay to freestyle as long as you understand the concept. Just go and freestyle, not a problem. So yeah, blitz, rapid, feel free to play anywhere because moves are very logical.
Okay, guys, so I'll end this here, and we will have in some time the finals between Aronian and Nakamura, which we will cover at the Grand Prix. It will start in roughly around 5 to 10 minutes. And Surya, thank you so much once again, and see you.
Thanks, Sagar. It was really nice. It's good to stream with you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
So, and chat has become very strong, very impressed. I came after a long time and super impressive, guys.
This is very good to hear. And Surya is always very objective, guys. He never praises anyone wrongly in chess because for him chess means everything. So he never says anything that he does not believe in. So yeah, great compliments from him to all of you.
All right, guys. Bye bye.